Hello, you're here with Brian Finch and Drew Messina, and what we're going to discuss today is what is VMDirect. So I'm going to ask Drew one question. What is VMDirect?
VMDirect, Brian, is simply this. We're a publicly traded company. We're owned by Digital FX. And what's most important about our company is a gentleman by the name of Richard Cole bought this company. He's the chairman of the board and CEO. About a year ago in November of '09, he bought it. And this publicly traded company that we have, we're nothing more than the people. We are the people that market and promote the Attain Response products themselves. VMDirect is basically our back office. We can see how we're getting paid. It's direct deposit. It shows all of the companies that come on board with us and they're using the products. It shows us our team. It shows company updates and many other things in it. It's actually called the VM dashboard within the Attain Response system.
It sounds like to me it's kind of like your whole office staff or your office manager for your whole business.
Exactly. You would know this, man, when me and you in the title and mortgage business and I own my own business and you owned your own construction company and all of that, I mean, we had employees when we had payroll and we had insurances and tax. You remember those days. You remember those days. Okay. VMDirect takes care of all of that for you. All we have to do is go out and market and promote the Attain Response products to the world.
I mean, I get to work for myself instead of having to worry about everybody else all the time.
That's it. We work for ourselves with no overhead, no employees, and no payroll. How about that?
Sounds good to me. Tell me about Richard Call a little bit, because I've heard that he's extremely successful. Man, you obviously know him better than I do.
Man, I'm so glad you asked that question because, I don't know, it slipped my mind while we're shooting this video. But Mr. Richard Call is just a spectacular person. I always like to relate things to sports. You know that all the time.
Here comes another baseball story.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to do football this time.
There we go.
Because the Hoodats won the Super Bowl. So think of Mr. Richard Call as a professional quarterback, and he's going to be Drew Brees for a second. That is a pretty good indication that your team is going to have a tremendous amount of success. It's kind of like modeling. You want to model people.
You've always told me that you want to surround your people with successful people.
Hey, absolutely.
Surround yourself with the best.
Absolutely. So when you go back and we're talking about Richard Cole right now, and I'm comparing him to Drew Brees because Drew Brees is the best of the best. Mr. Richard Cole, okay, and since he told me this first, I know this is not a cut down to him. He never graduated from high school, folks. This guy has no formal education, and he's taken two companies to the $1 billion mark. He has made $300,000 to $600,000 a month in two separate companies, folks. I said a month, not a year. $300,000 to $600,000 a month in two separate companies for 20 to 30 years now, and he still gets paid on them. He has taken his knowledge, his expertise.
Still getting paid on anything in 20 years.
Exactly. But he's taken, like I said, his knowledge, his expertise, his financial backing, because he believes in this company. He's put in $12 million of his own money, nobody else's money, his money. Put it in this company to make sure people like us and everybody else out there has an opportunity in life and has a way to go market and promote themselves and build a business. That's what VMDirect is.
Well, yeah, he definitely believes in it. That's for sure. No, he's been very successful. He knows how to get things going. Great man. So I'm glad to know that we're following a true leader.
Yeah, I'll tell you one quick little story. When I first got into it, and you remember this, I flew to Las Vegas and I lied to my parents about going out there because they would have thought I was nuts going to meet some guy that's rich, and I'm going out there and I don't know anything about technology. Well, when I went out there, went to his house, he toured me of the facility and I saw the hundreds of employees and I saw just the bigness of everything, and that I could come back to Destin, Florida and build this big old company with you and Bob Doty and Matt Myers and all of that stuff. I came back so excited because of the bigness and the publicly traded company, and somebody as powerful and as skilled as Mr. Richard Call. I saw it as a no-brainer.
How long has this company been around, or not the whole company, but since Richard has gotten involved and really turned this thing around, how long has it been, and kind of where do we stand with VMDirect?
Good question. Mr. Rich he started investing in this company right at about 7 years ago. Could be 8 years now, but it was about 7 or 8 years ago. The company was kind of heading in a direction where he didn't want it. So the people that owned it, they just worked the deal out. He bought them out November of 08. November of 08, he bought them out, and now he has controlling interest of everything. And he's put in $12 million of his own money. So in the ballpark, 7 to 10 years that the technology and everything's been around. But with him buying and bringing on Attain Response and adding that to VMDirect, we've become the most powerful, most cost-effective tools and company in the world right now for people to promote themselves.
I got you. Well, I know that just recently, or within the last, I guess it was 8 months, that a whole new website was released for VMDirect and with the Attain Response website. Tell me a little bit about that, because I know that everything's, from what I understand, there was an old VMDirect, and it seems to me like the new VMDirect is just
awesome question. Again, let me tell you why that's such an awesome question. We're going to go back to Richard Call for a second in VMDirect, okay? The reason why that question is so unbelievable, and you folks need to understand this, John Preto is Chief of Technology, and he's got about 100 people helping him with the technology. The updates with Attain Response and with the VMDirect dashboard, which helps us run our businesses, are constantly updating and constantly staying ahead of the competition. You want to know why? Because Mr. Richard Cole spares no expense. He tells those people, get the best, do the best, stay ahead of the competition, and Mr. Richard Cole constantly writes those checks. If they need $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, Mr. Rich is there to give it to them. That's why you see our technology staying ahead of the competition at all times with VMDirect and Attain Response.
Well, I appreciate you telling me about it, man. I've had a blast working with them, and I just really can't wait for the next year or two. So.
Cool. Well, I hope that all helped y'all. Take a look at all of our information there, and go to our website and see why we're the most powerful, fastest growing team in Attain Response and VMDirect.
Thank you.